There we go.
Right.
I think I got it out. Oh.
We are live?
Yep.
You say that now. You know, I can't use my mouse on the second screen when my second screen is an iPad that's not connected.
Yeah, funny how that works.
But the habit of scrolling over to a second screen is very much still there.
I've done that, having multiple laptops set up, and actually becoming very frustrated that my mouse wasn't going from one screen to the other, and then realizing, oh no, I need to go to sleep.
Yeah, I just did it, and it annoyed the crap out of me. When I did it, I was like, what the fuck is wrong here? Why won't my YouTube go?
Do you ever use a touch screen for too long and then you go back to a regular mouse and keyboard and you're touching your screen? No. I've been there.
I can't.
I don't want to say about twice a year, try to touch the computer at work and touch the screen and try to move something on it. Yep. Twice a year, I get caught on that one, and I'm like, oh, everything is nowadays. That one's not, though.
It's like to the point where I just want to buy a touchscreen for my computer.
I remember when I was in elementary school, and that was, at the time, some pretty new tech. It was an overlay that you would touch, and it would take a coordinate based on the monitor it was supposed to be attached to, and it would pretend it was doing mouse clicks in those locations.
That's hilarious.
They got one for the secretary who worked there, and I forget why. But I remember just being enamored, being like, man, that's really neat. Now everything is touchscreen. Like, everything.
Going to give a quick shout out, Black Frost CPM. Thanks for joining us, guys. As you can see, I'm not in the regular location. They shipped me out to Winnipeg this week to do a trade show, doing comic book conventions. So,
come on, you're in London. I'm pretty sure that's Big Ben beside you.
Mm-hmm. And the chandelier. I like.
There you go.
Out of anywhere in this room I needed to put, I was told that the chandelier should be my backdrop. So, although it's bright, give me 2 seconds. That's not right.
I was gonna say. Although I'm the one drinking tea.
That might be why I was getting the weird blue glare there for a while. But anyway.
Indeed.
Looks decent. All right. Welcome aboard, boys and girls, to this overview of the new CRKT Homefront. No, not that one. It's the other one. The new one that they just came out with. They call it the Homefront OD Green on their website. This is not a Homefront.
Is Joe just jumping into the review?
I think so.
Are you not going to bullshit for 15 minutes like we always do?
Just no. I was going to I was going to introduce it and then get into what we're carrying. Yeah.
I'm just giving you a It's like, wait.
I had a whole thing.
There's a lot of people in our group that need things in a very specific way or they lose their mind. I'm not one of them, actually, out of all of our groups. So. I usually roll with it, but I have to harass people when it happens.
That's perfectly fine.
If there was a MO.
Well, the reason why I was bringing up the knife first is because I was going to jump into what I was carrying this week. Because it's kind of related.
Justin, what is up? Ben, hello.
Hello. Welcome aboard.
CPM's carrying the most useless piece of pocket jewelry today.
Oh, yeah.
The Axe Dragon.
Don't remember what the dragon looks like.
No idea. Oh, I do.
Is that the one? Look that up, Jamie?
No. Maybe I don't. I think I'm mistaken. I'll do that sometimes.
Oh, wow, this thing. Okay, no, I actually know what this is. Here's a picture.
Black Frost has got the 308.
Oh, no, here's not a picture. Here's a picture.
We just got the 308s back in stock at the cutting edge, and holy crap, you forget how big that knife is. Like, I got a 301, and it's not bigger than, like, the 308's bigger than it is. Like,
so can you buy actual MaxAce products on AliExpress? Like, is that a real vendor for them? Because I know they're Chinese produced, but...
Max Ace is a weird one. It's kind of like Concept. There's some companies out there that I just
Because I know Tucson you could get on AliExpress for a while.
yeah, Tucson's the other one that just sketches me out. That like why aren't more reputable retailers? Although Max Ace is on Blade HQ as well, so I mean they're a little more
Well, the Max Ace store sure seems to be selling them for reasonable US dollars for what they are. So
Can I get one in like black and like goldy yellow, please?
What's my price point on this bad boy?
They said sold out. I actually don't know.
That doesn't tell me a price point at all.
No, not.
This is the new eBay. Is what Justin's saying in chat.
Dragon looks like 580 American.
I don't know if I would give AliExpress $580 for anything. I think that's my problem right there.
Depends. Like,
am I getting a fiber laser for $580? Because I might order one. But
those motherfuckers sell houses. Even if it's a fixie upper.
I want this done up like Batman.
It should be black.
I want it done up like Batman.
Straight up, all the way.
It really should. Do like a titanium nitride gold finish on the blade. I'm into it. Straight up like 90s Batman.
CPM is saying 550, so that goes. Okay, so I guess Ali might be selling legitimate items. Interesting.
Infinite Gunworks, what's up? What are you carrying? Also, AliExpress is the new eBay. I don't quite understand what that means, but
I think you know exactly what.
Well, I think it's getting there. It's getting there.
Doesn't have much farther to go to be honest, but
you could get some weird stuff on eBay back in the day.
Yeah,
I've seen
stuff back in the day. Just because you don't do random search now of eBay and scare yourself on a regular basis.
Like, certain things I used to be able to find all the time and very easily on eBay. Can't find them anymore. Goes for knives, computers, watches, whatever. A lot of it's just gone. And that might just be that people have sold everything that they were looking to sell, but
Brian Mooney, our weekly woo. Yeah, it's the Sunday woo times. We got to have a woo girl. And Brian Mooney's our woo girl, so do it up, man.
I was going to say, I pictured Ric Flair in my head.
Straight. Yeah, that's a dude's version of a woo girl. Definitely.
Yeah, 1,000%.
Yeah, it's okay, Brian. If you weren't here, I would probably be the next in line for a woo girl, and I don't want to fill that role. So that's
obligation fulfilled.
Joe, did you actually say what you were carrying? Or?
No, we didn't get around to it.
I was like, I know he started because it was semi-related, and I harassed him about maybe being a Homefront. And if it is, why aren't you saving it?
We started talking about this crazy thing, and
it's not. It is related to the Homefront. It's another 10 onion design with assisted opening and aluminum handles. Yeah, it's a blur. This one's a little bit special because it's M4, but I thought a blur was topical. So
yeah, I don't carry that knife enough.
No, me neither. That needs to be my pocket.
All the boys jumped on that sprint run when it happened because M4, even if it's slightly softer, Kershaw M4, as stated on their website. That's not me talking smack. That's just a pure fact.
It's still like 62 Rockwell, though, right?
It's 60 to 62 on that, which is still acceptable. But yeah,
I'm surprised they actually did that good of a job on it, to be honest. But so far, so good.
Yeah.
Anyway. How does it sharpen?
Not bad actually. About the same as my GB2 from Spyderco, which makes sense given that it's same hardness roughly. Yeah. I honestly haven't done much though. Like I've stropped it and I've maybe touched it with the fine stone from the Spyderco Sharpmaker set. But other than that, like I don't even think this is going to turn up on camera, but I really haven't done anything with the edge.
That's completely fair. That question wasn't like only for Dennis, but it was definitely, I know Dennis likes to like buy things and touch them up almost immediately, more so than some of like I tend to do and stuff like that.
I've been doing that less, but it depends on the knife.
Yeah.
Like I have been doing it less lately until it.
I couldn't remember if you had done it to your blur or not.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The reason
How does
why
it-
I even checked my hardness on mine was because Dennis was curious because it's like this was like way too easy to sharpen, comparatively speaking.
Easier for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
I would say it's soft, but yeah. And actually, when you said as easy as your GB2, that actually surprises me because I thought my GB1 was actually tougher to sharpen. But it's been several years, so my memory might be misremembering.
You may have also gotten better at sharpening between when you sharpened your GB1 and now.
100%. Ask the scratch on the hollow grind on my GB1 how it feels about my sharpening nowadays. So
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
the first one to admit it. That
we
one
all
took,
have one of those, right?
that one took a hit right in the hollow grind, right up in there. It's,
Yep. I've done that too. I think I did that for my
it hurt my
smog.
feelings when I did it. It was on the white stone, but anyway, so scored at something fierce.
Yep.
Anyway,
that's
Paul,
me.
have you got something surprisey, or am I going next?
A little bit.
Okay. Blurs are nice for simple, cheap EDC. Scallion was a cheap EDC pocket knife. Yoz, really? A Scallion, Ben?
Oh, hate it.
All right, I'll give it to you. Fine.
What's wrong with a scallion? It's a great little knife.
It's better than my first regular EDC. It's a red class
Yeah, that's what I'm
Pika.
saying.
So it's
Mine was a Browning M16 clone.
well,
Recent.
first knife. My first
Okay, not
knife.
first. But like
That's
when I
First knives are a whole other episode.
Yeah, for sure.
like getting that knife was what led me into the cutting edge eventually. Because I found it. Anyways.
And by the way, Ben, also Dick Richards, what are you guys carrying tonight? How's it going? Well, I'll do me first. That's fine. And actually, it's on a good note because I just finished that beer. And being that I had to travel to Winnipeg, they don't allow me to have real knives on planes. So I have to carry a TSA approved knife. And because I'm flying back out tomorrow, the knives that I did have when I was here, that yes, I did ship out to me to have some real knives, also aren't here because they're shipping back out to me because I have to go home tomorrow morning. So the only knife I actually have on me right now is the Kershaw Antic.
Yep.
That's fair.
So
Conveniently.
also, because I'm out of beer, it is the best bottle opener Kershaw has ever made, including their dedicated bottle openers.
Wow.
This is better. The Kershaw Antic, it beats a pub, it beats a cinder.
No, like legit. Last convention I went out to Dennis with. Yeah, that was the opener, and it did a fantastic job.
I mean,
So-
it looks like it would.
While I was in Winnipeg, I also found this really awesome root burl thing that this picture is taken on. And I know that there's people out there that have like trypophobia, sorry, my mistake, which is the fear of weird holes and bumpy textures and things that look just like this. And so for the record, I put it up here just to spite all of the people that have that fear because it's not a real fear. Grow up. It's just not gross. Figure it out. So,
Oh, Jesus.
yeah. So the reason, and you can go into that, there's studies on why it's not an actual phobia. It's just something that's gross and you think it's gross. Get over it.
I wonder if there's a like historical reference for it, like seeing weird, nasty holes in the ground and stuff like that. You're like, I don't know if I should put my hand in that. I should probably avoid that.
Flesh.
There's a fleshy one where you'll like see things come out of the flesh in a hole, and that really grosses people out.
Well,
I like it.
Not talking specifically about that, but
I'm not afraid of them.
maggots as they're eating through flesh oftentimes can come up in segments. So there's probably a predisposition for people to see something like that and have like a built-in instinctual, oh, I should avoid that.
Yeah.
So
And-
it could just be as simple as a human instinct.
This seems kind of gross.
Yeah.
Infinite is also asking if I'm actually using the pry bar instead of the ring. No, 100% the ring. You put the ring in with the little blue lip thing that's on the inside and put that blue lip underneath the bottle.
Yeah, you can kind of see the blue lip in the photo here. I'll zoom in.
And it's on
It's
the
just-
bottom side of the
Yeah.
knife. It's I'm not. It's by far the best bottle opener that they've had. You could pry bar it, but I have a Bic lighter, so if I was just doing that, it's just the hint, just the nubby.
Just a little nubby. Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't need much.
How's the PVD holding up to all that scraping on the bottle cap?
Oh, it's gone. Actually, no, it's not. I shouldn't say that. I said that before I even answered because it's Kershaw. It's actually holding up pretty freaking good. Better than my Sabenza thumb studs.
Oh, dude, tell me about it. my once gold thumb stud is now like silver.
Yeah,
Alright,
mine are
we're
too,
gonna
but
just-
they weren't gold or silver to begin with. It's
Well, yours were blue, right?
yeah. Well, mostly blue.
Like those damn 31s, eh? They're just not built like they used to be.
Dick Richards carrying the domino. Nice knife, dude. Nice knife. One of
Cheers.
the better flippers that Spyderco made. I might have a line on a Spyderco flipper that's new and fun, and I'm not going to tell you what, but for a guy who doesn't like flippers and had a long time to warm up to Spyderco, you might know what it is.
I feel like
I feel like I'm gonna be upset when it's confirmed what it is, but keep my guesses to myself.
Or you can let them flow now. I'll tell you if you're right or not. But yeah,
I want a chance being surprised.
well, we'll spoil the secrets 2 weeks from now or 3 weeks from now when I may or may not get one. But yeah.
we'll keep it the secret here, but I'm pretty sure I can guess it off stream.
So, what'd you carry in?
Speaking of Spyderco, I am also carrying a Spyderco today.
You
It's one of their weirder things. It's the Spyderco Sabo. It's,
Yeah.
sometimes it just needs to happen.
Well, now you just need to convince Infinite to sell you the Tomahawk for the matching Lassie Sabo set. And then you'll be
I
ready as
will
rain.
be like an arm catching Jesus.
Yep.
Yeah, this thing's kind of weird.
I'm curious on how Jesus caught arms, but
I mean, use your imagination.
it's hard to catch when your hands hurt so much. It's
That's fair.
anyway. Lassie Sabo, you say?
I almost made a Spidey hole joke there, and I'm glad I didn't.
Had to reel it back for live stream, did you?
Yeah, hold that one back.
That's
Um,
probably for the best.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, this is a weird friggin' knife.
What makes it so weird?
It's got a compression lock,
It
but
does.
it doesn't have a detent ball.
What does that fall?
It has a weird spring that holds it closed.
It sure
I
does.
sent
Did
I
you
sent that as
disassemble?
I did not disassemble. No, I stole a photo from Reddit.
And here is that photo.
Thank you, random person whose name I didn't look at.
I was curious
I
about that,
appreciate
on what you ended up doing to actually get. Where's the weird springy thing?
That's
Oh, is it like a smock but with a detent ball?
No. It's a
No.
spring that actually attaches to the blade and holds it in the way that the torsion bar in like a Kershaw holds that knife in.
I was gonna say it's
You're telling me what now?
yeah, it's so much worse than you think.
Yeah.
Is this
It's super-
patented?
Yes.
Yeah. Also,
Yeah.
internal stop pin, which was kind of neat. I didn't realize that at
Yeah.
first.
If you look at here, it'll take a second for you, Dennis, but I just panned the camera over for everyone else. The stop pin that the compression lock compresses against actually goes through a milled hole in the blade. Kinda neat. Kinda neat.
I don't know if it's kind of neat or not.
It's neat. Look at
I
that.
was wrong. It does appear to have a detent ball as well.
It
But
does also.
people complain about its action. It is not a like PM2 or Yojimbo compression
So-
lock action.
The Lassie Sabo design was pre CQI days, or that one would have been for sure. If that knife had got released in the days of, hey, we're gonna put pivot bushings on a whole bunch of stuff and listen to our forums and put ceramic balls on Spidey chefs and shit like that type of thing, that knife would have a better action because people would bitch about it. Because if that snapped out like a bedlam or like a that knife would have been way more popular than it is. But that knife has it's not quite so benzo hydraulic-y, but it is a little hydraulic-y. It's not a drop shot knife.
No.
This one?
Probably because of that spring, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's...
Yeah.
But that being said, it's a 4.6-inch knife. It's big. And it's not easy to shake open.
It's a significant blade on that thing. And it may be hollow ground, but it's full thickness up to where that grind actually starts. Like, it's not lightweight.
No, it's a chunky lad.
Weird.
And lightning strike carbon fiber, which is also...
Stanton, 357. Thanks for joining us, man. Cutting cardboard with the strafe. For fun or for business?
Like you have to ask.
The answer is yes.
It can be two things. Yeah.
It could be two things. Why couldn't it? Yeah.
Exactly.
That's interesting. I didn't know that CRKT went, or not CRKT, sorry, Spyderco went that stupid route with that knife.
It kind of reminds me of my old Greg Lightfoot fucking
Meyerco?
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing.
It had a similar style spring.
I know Lassie Sabo and Sal Glesser love the fact that you just compared this knife with a Meyerco. They just, yeah.
I like that knife. It was a good knife.
Color pop on it. Hey, the design is
Yeah.
fantastic. Yeah, I'll say that. The Greg Lightfoot Catch Dog is a knife that I would put in my own collection for sure.
Absolutely.
Not a Meyerco version, but you know.
Look, it's been long since been sold. I had a guy at work that really wanted it.
Yeah, I actually sharpened it before you sold it to him, I think.
Yeah, sure did.
Actually, that's when it actually found out with that weird front end tip thing that it actually isn't nearly as hard to sharpen as I thought it was going to be. Because it kind of scared me when I was like, that's a weird tip. That's a Norseman style tip. What the hell's going on? And then I actually put an edge on it. I was like, oh, that wasn't that bad at all. So now we've had 15 minutes of bullshit. No,
yes.
More than that.
Yeah.
25. But Joe interrupted us. I'm blaming him on this one. He tried to start early.
That's all right. It's all right when I do it. Anyway.
Yes, Dad.
Oh, am I digging something up? I'm sorry.
Oh, good times. Good times.
Absolutely. Here's a nice picture of a Homefront. Bam.
Oh, yeah. I got nothing. Did you get a dragonfly picture for me?
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
He may or may not have. There's a couple.
I missed my dragonfly, and by that I mean not my dragonfly. But anyway, I'm ready to go home tomorrow.
I believe it.
Indeed. No doubt. I mean, you are in Winnipeg.
Yeah.
That should be the constant state of feeling since landing.
This hasn't been the worst trip that I've done to Winnipeg, but it didn't snow. This is the first time in like 6 years it hasn't snowed. So
we were just talking about that. Like, what are the chances?
Yeah, didn't. Tried to rain, but that's about it. It was okay. Yeah, so
good stuff.
So I got to say, just right off the hop, I've always liked the profile of this knife. It's a good looking knife.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is very functional blade shape. Like,
yeah.
Ken Onion was like, what can I do? What can I do? And he wasn't getting any sort of inspiration from anyone else like he has been over the last couple of years. So he made a nice knife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Hey, here's the comparison shot.
Let me slightly elaborate. When Ken Onion makes Ken Onion knife, I don't mind it. When Ken Onion makes I'm inspired by someone else knife, it doesn't do it for me a lot.
I'm upset with Justin right now. He doesn't like the shape of the flipper on this thing.
The gun hammer?
Yeah.
There's a lot.
You could be wrong.
That's what I'm saying.
It does protrude into your pocket a lot, but it's so easy to actuate from any angle.
It's also on the well, no, I guess it's not on the other side of the knife. What am I talking about? I've never really had much of an issue with that, but I guess I always have cases on my phone. So if I didn't have a case on my phone, I'd probably be more annoyed by my knife rubbing up against it.
Yeah.
And for those of whoever's watching that doesn't know, quick rundown just as far as stats on this bad boy. Just a hint over 3.5-inch blade, 8.3 overall. So with the size comparisons and stuff, weight 5.6 ounce. Ooh, did they mill the aluminum on the inside, or like?
Yeah,
like,
they milled the aluminum on the inside to make room for full steel liners with no milling.
What they did? They did what? What?
They milled out the inside of the knife to make room for full.
Okay, is this protecting some sort of spring that may or may not? When they didn't, okay, but they didn't give a shit about the M16 having holes to the exterior with the spring, but they wanted to cover up the Homefront one.
Yep.
Hey, maybe they've learned some lessons.
Okay, so also for those people who don't know live stream is I've been in Winnipeg for the last 4 days and I haven't played with this knife. So I'm going into this review blind and I have questions, and this is definitely the first goddamn question I have.
So
holy crap.
Here's another quick size comparison I thought might be
we
good.
Lost Paul, by the way, but
oh yeah, I'm done. That's not a good look for me.
No, it's not. Well, so it's about the same size. It's about the same size overall as the Blur, but yeah, a little bit shorter. I think both in the blade and in the handle, but in the grip, because it's more square, it actually feels like a more full grip, at least to me. But
and
yeah,
you're back. Yeah. So
excellent.
Hey, let me. I'm here.
I will say something else. Another area that this knife actually has in common with the Blur, it has a mechanical detent apart from the spring. The detent ball actually does nestle into a hole in the blade, so you could theoretically de-assist this thing. I don't know how strong the detent is. I don't know if it's strong enough to get a good action out of it, but it's on ball bearings as well. So
okay, so
I'm still caught on nestling my ball.
yeah, you can nestle it. It's all right.
Can you do a quick just look up of the weight on the Kershaw Blur, just as far as like now looking at them side by side? They're very similar knives, and I want to know exactly what's up because they have a steel liner on the inside of a Blur.
Kershaw Blur apparently is 3.9 ounces.
CPM is saying that it's a very cowboy-y kind of knife, and Justin's saying it's just ugly, and that's fair. Not everyone's gonna like it, but
when you say it's a cowboy knife and it's just kind of ugly, I'm like, yeah, that's probably why I like it. It's kind of a cowboy knife. It's kind of ugly.
Dennis here is a big fan of Bowie knives. This isn't so far off the mark.
Well, honestly, it's a very, for me, functional knife. The handle, I've always kind of had a little bit of issues with some ergo, like little too wide, little too flat. Little narrower if you're going to be that flat, little more rounded if you're going to be that wide type of like. It's,
I like a wide flat knife.
In some situations, it's not bad, but that's my one kind of nitpick with a Homefront more than anything else. Well, we'll talk about price, but
yeah, we will.
So yeah, but other than that, sorry, I have to go back to weight. 5.6 versus 3.9. Like that's 1.7 ounces for a similar size knife that both have steel liners and spring assist.
Thicker aluminum scales too, though. I'm pretty sure.
Thicker aluminum than a Blur aluminum?
I didn't actually do a side by side, but if so, it won't be much more than a millimeter, if that. Just looking at this here and thinking about it.
What are the cages for the bearings made out of? Where are we getting this extra weight?
It's the full steel liners That's what it is, because the one side has the liner lock steel liner, then the opposite side has the full liner that's protecting the spring, and they're not milled at all.
Black Frost, the one spec I didn't mention, the blade steel, 12C 27 Sandvik. Not the worst thing in the world, but again, we'll talk about price.
Yep.
So
this isn't the first time CRKT's charged a decent amount of money for 12C Sandvik, but
but they also charge a very reasonable amount for 12C 27 Sandvik. So pick a lane. Jesus Christ.
Well, that's part of my problem. This isn't. Also, and while I think CRKT is
it's not troop steel where you just always overprice it. Come on.
Oh yeah. No, for sure. God forbid, right?
Okay. Sorry.
I was gonna say.
I made a comment in chat, and I went and looked at that knife, and that's a very pretty knife.
What is this?
It's a Walter Bren Model 2. It's very much like a sub-hilt fighter Bowie.
Fair enough. I was just gonna say I know that CRKT does this a lot, and I think they're doing a pretty good job of it. But it's still worth bearing in mind this isn't 3D machined aluminum. This is effectively extruded or die cast. I forget, it's one of the two, and I'm pretty sure it's die cast.
I would imagine so.
Yeah. There are some things you need to keep in mind about aluminum when you do that, but I think they've engineered these well enough that it shouldn't be a problem. I think they learned from their mistakes in the Bonafide. The Bonafide had a couple of little issues with the aluminum being cast. In particular, there were some wear areas where there were some very small fractures you could see in photos.
Oh yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, for sure.
Like around the
by the lock bar specifically.
Well, and cast aluminum in general, we've seen fleshing in the crossbones.
Yep.
As well, left over from the die cast. We've seen several when it comes to cast aluminum. CRKT is not necessarily perfect.
No, absolutely.
But I think this is a design where it works pretty well. Pardon me. Yeah, I mean, the thing is comfortable in hand. It is heavy. And while the photo doesn't... I was gonna say, like, I don't have any photos of the action here, but it's pretty snappy. There isn't a point where you could open the blade and then let go and then it fails to deploy. Right now it is very snappy out of box. I can only hope it stays that way. Take this as maybe a minor update. I was talking to Paul about this, but so while my stickler situation hasn't been repaired, that spring is still busted. I haven't gotten a replacement yet or anything like that. I've been carrying my my M16 more. The little spear pointy guy, it's in a drawer over there. I can grab it later. But the spring action on it has actually gotten significantly weaker over the past couple months as I've been carrying it, using it. And I gotta say, I'm actually pretty disappointed because CRKT has done springs in the past that have been phenomenal, that have outlasted springs from most other companies that I've bought assisted knives from. Like, this is a really old one, maybe not the best blade steel, but my CRKT Kiss Assist still has a perfectly functional spring.
Their outburst assist bars are significantly more simple, more dialed in, easier to produce, easier to be consistent.
I'm thinking,
and I'll agree, their outburst assist compared to their coiled spring that looks like it was stolen out of Attack Force. That I'm not overly impressed with so far. It's okay, but I think they can do better.
I think they're going through some growing pains trying to refine exactly what the design should be. On that note, this does differ. I don't know if the this Homefront actually uses the same coil spring. I did manage to take a picture of the inside of the handle of the knife. 2 pictures, actually. And Paul actually pointed this out, and we thought initially it was some sort of miss with a locating pin. But if you look between these 2 pictures, the pin actually changes position whether the knife is fully opened or partially closed. That's actually the tail end of the spring changing position as you go to open and close the knife.
Okay. Yeah. So it has some play. Now, that actually might go hand in hand with less wear on the spring not being solid, and also has to do with the ball bearing system, I'm guessing.
Yes. So two things with that. Wait.
Not the cat.
Ah, kitty.
Just slowly crawling up my cheek. Whatever. It's okay. Yeah, so a couple things. Because it's mounted in place, I wonder if it is going to last longer. Two, I wonder if there are any internal kind of like radiator coils like we've been seeing with the other springs. And three, because this thing actually does have a detemp ball that nestles into a hole, you could potentially take the spring out. It may be a zero, it may be a non-issue.
And it just becomes ball bearing with a weak detent?
Well, who knows whether the detent's weak, because I haven't. It's hard to tell, because the spring does pull the knife closed too. So,
can we go back to a picture with the logo on that knife to be able to tell whether it's hard to tell or not?
Theoretically, you could, overstress the spring and give some extra spring pressure too.
Yeah, you could if you want.
That's about as close as I can get. Yeah. Anyway.
I'm just a dick. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I can see the weak detent from here or not. Anyway, sorry.
I actually did try to get a picture. I did try to get a picture of the hole that the ball would fall into, but it's actually nestled so tightly underneath the handle, I couldn't get a good angle on it.
Maybe benefit of the doubt. Maybe they'll surprise me. Maybe they'll make a cold steel engage and
full disclosure. I mean, okay, we could talk about the price first, maybe, but yeah.
For the record, little blue nubby. Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah. Hey, hands down, the best bottle.
Little blue nubby.
I'm gonna flog a dead horse on that one. Anyway.
Oh, here's the picture.
The best shuffle they don't call a shuffle, so
they should.
The perspective of this photo makes my fingertips look massive. Yeah, there you go.
What the hell is wrong, Joe? I think you need to take more than one day off of work.
Yeah, apparently.
That's better.
Yeah.
I don't think the problem's fixed in this picture. I just think it's better. Anyway.
Wow, perspective is weird, huh?
Yeah, I'm gonna go and stare at my hands for a little bit here. Fuck.
I've been there. I was usually in my 20s. It's
You live that, huh? Yeah.
Gonna go stare at my hands for a bit.
Yeah. Back out through these. Yeah. So. Yeah. Paul's dying. That's good.
It went back up on the screen for a second. I saw it again.
Yeah. Fair enough.
It was just there for
just as funny the second time.
It really is. I want to start taking pictures like that and freaking people out.
Here's another perspective shot that maybe makes a little bit more sense. Yeah. One of Paul's shots here.
Nice.
It's not a bad looking knife. If I have one complaint, it's going to be about the spring. If I have two complaints, it's going to be about the price. This thing's not exactly cheap.
Okay, so your complaint about the spring is that it's a coil spring, and from your stickler experience,
it's a pretty.
No, I'm just wondering if that's what your actual complaint is, or is it there's a part two to that complaint?
Oh no! My complaint is that this spring, there are seeds of doubt that have been sown because of two prior CRKT spring assisted knives that they've made within the last year or two. So
and that's what I thought your complaints were, but yes,
there's
nothing to experience firsthand on this knife so far.
That's just it. There's a little trepidation.
This the correction. Hopefully,
I'm hopeful because I like the way I'm seeing that spring nestled and engaged. It feels good, and chances are I can take it out.
Enough with that steel liner that's 5.6 ounces. Paul, what were you going to say?
I was going to say Dick Richards says the blade looks great. That is the only thing he said. That was the thing, and that was all he said. The blade looks great.
The blade and I think there's other parts that look okay.
The pivot's a little goofy. I'm gonna say that. I mean, I know they're going for like a bomber World War II sort of look, but
they caught me, and I hate myself for it. But
you should have done some sort of two-tone on the star. Would have been fantastic. A bronzy on the star, a white on the star, like old military style, something. I'm not even US, and I thought that that would maybe justify the price point.
I think you're right on that for sure.
Hey, what's the price point?
In 90 American.
Yeah, and how much is a blur?
I don't know what it is. America, 83 American. Actually, that's not that bad. 83 US MSRP on the home front isn't actually unheard of.
It's
Maybe I'm just bitter because our dollar sucks right now, but that's.
I mean, that's part of it. But I think too, there's other things on the market that come
I
in
know.
potentially.
I know I keep
at a
going
better
back to
price
the
point.
blur, but at this point, from the Kershaw website, you can get it
No,
for
it's
107.
it's actually a nice comparison that I've never actually put together, Joe. Like I appreciate the fact that like as soon as you
Yeah,
put
yeah.
them side by sides up, I'm like, oh, they're both Ken Onions. They're both the handle length, blade length. Like I don't know what the specs exactly are on a blur. I do have the home front here.
Oh yeah,
I
well,
like the home front because he got rid
Yeah,
of his
click on one of those bastards and tell me what exactly is the blade length overall, blah blah blah.
So blade length, we are looking at 3.4 inches, 8.6 centimeters, 14C Sandvik on the base model. Holy shit, they're using Cerakote for the blade finish?
Yeah, have for years.
How have I never clocked that? I thought it was just like a Jesus. Okay. Uh, blade thickness 3 millimeters, closed length 4.5 inches.
Okay, hang on.
Yeah.
So you said 3.4. Yeah, it's 3.56 for the blade length on here. It's 3.4 mils thick compared to a blur.
So this is a thinner blade with a hollow grind as opposed to a thicker blade with a different use cases, but just for comparison.
Yeah. Weight, we know. Yeah. What's the overall?
Overall length is 7.9 inches.
Okay, this is 8.31. So they add equal amount of blade to handle ratio, gives you that. That makes sense. So yeah.
Maybe the perspective in my comparison photo earlier just kind of threw it off. Yeah, you know what? It must have been because I was taking it at a slight angle.
Thought it was closer than that, but even still, yeah, it's a hint larger of a blur. Yeah.
And you are getting now. Here's the big thing: you're getting 6061 T6 billet aluminum. So these are 3D machined as opposed to cast into position. The big reason I keep harping on that, this is going to be tougher. If I drop this on something and it deforms, it's not going to deform as much as a similar drop would have on cast aluminum. It's when you cast metal like that, you end up with a hard piece of material, but you're not ending up with a very tough piece because there is a certain porosity to it. It's kind of unavoidable.
Did you say porosity?
Sure did.
Porosity, yeah.
Is that an actual word?
Yes.
I want you to
I'm like 90. I'm like 90%.
How else would you
sure.
describe the porousness of an item?
The porousness. Yeah, I understand that. But when he said porosity,
it's a word.
Well, snap, son.
Porosity or void fraction is a measure of void spaces in a material. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Learn something new. I probably will never use that term, but cool.
Fair enough. Yeah.
I probably will. I will now. Yeah, exactly.
It's
right.
been ruined. Yeah, so I mean, to me, these are very comparable knives. I know that the original price is slashed from 134, but $107 for 14C Sandvik as opposed to 12C. So with 12C, you could expect what, greater toughness? I don't know about that.
107.99 American is what they're asking, or is that Canada? Is that a .ca?
I don't think we can get Canadian. No, this is .com.
Okay. Yeah. That's steep for a record.
Sorry?
That's steep for a blur too, but
yeah,
that just tells me I'm turning into an old man that are like, back in my day, you can get a blur for.
Prices on everything have gone up though, but keeping in mind this is 14C Sandvik, which is rapidly becoming a budget steel. Now,
which is kind of funny because 12C27 has just kind of had this always mainstay of like overpricing. I don't know. It's hard to find budget. I don't think it'll ever be considered a budget steel because there's so many Norwegian and Swedish companies that are using it. Even though Mora basically at the end of the day uses the same thing for $30. They don't actually call it 12C27, do they?
No, they just call it stainless, but I think you can actually find it in their catalog information what the exact specification for the steel is.
It's hilarious that you can get $300 Hellas that at the end of the day have the same knife as steel.
Well, and 12 feet. You know, I was kind of concerned about the Rockwell measurement for the Homefront initially. I don't think they talk about it here, but if you go to Steel Facts on CRKT's website, I'm just going to use Google because I think that'll actually be faster. Yeah, there we go. So 12C, they do. Actually, that's a little bit harder than I thought. Never mind. I don't know what company I found that for then. They're listing their 12C 27 at 59 to 61. That's actually a pretty good range, and in fact, I don't think you can actually get 12C much harder than that. Same thing. Same thing. Yeah, same thing with AEBL, which I believe is very, very, very similar in terms of its composition and properties. Yeah, okay. So I'm actually a little bit more impressed with that than I thought it was. For some reason, I had it in my head. It was like 58 to 59. Like, it was a really tight range, but it was still a bit below.
I'm sorry, I got distracted by the 4116 marking below.
Yeah, 55 to 57.
Yeesh.
1.4116 is at 55 to 57. And I'm pretty sure that's as hard as you could run that steel too. I don't think it takes to. I don't think it enjoys going any harder than that.
But now, yeah, I was gonna say, like, especially with how thin a lot of people put their 416, it's kitchen cutlery, whatever type of thing. I think.
Yeah. And look at the carbon content too. Like, there's no wonder you can't get much harder. It's only got 0.45 to 0.5% carbon in the first place.
Mm-hmm. That's fair. It's always been said that it does best at a nice thin edge. And I wonder if that's just a remnant or like an artifact of the fact that good geometry cuts well, even if it's dull.
Yeah, yeah, that's probably it. Actually, yeah, no. You are right about that. I have some 4116 from CRKT in two different knives, two very different blade profiles. Yeah. This does not hold an edge nearly as well as this does.
Yeah.
And geometry is the only difference. It's the same steel, same hardness.
So which one holds a better edge, a dagger or a flat ground karambit?
The dagger, because it's hollow ground, so it gets kind of thin behind the edge.
I was like, you just showed two examples that are like, neither one of them are optimum for cutting ability.
Neither one are great. This thing is thick behind the edge. Like, it's ridiculous.
It's the karambit from CRKT. Do you want to go back to that zoomed in picture of the brand name?
Yeah, exactly.
We've reviewed the Duoc.
Yeah, that's
although
true.
It has a contested cutting ability. It's
that thing was kind of nasty. Anyway, Homefront, would you buy one?
Yeah. At 83 American dollars, if I was an American man, that's not a bad knife, not a bad price. I like the Homefront. The gun hammer flipper, okay, DDR leaves a bad taste in my mouth. And the gun hammers are DDR things, right? Like, he had a bunch of knives literally named the gun hammer, right? Like,
yep.
Yeah, no, I just like the 1911. I like that hammer.
He just, like, he was one of the pioneers of getting outed as not being American made when he claimed to be. Wasn't he right on the home stretch of that before the last fiasco boy got called out?
There was a bunch of drama. Like, just shit.
Hoback?
Hoback.
Yep.
I'm glad I was right. I don't want to get sued.
To be fair, Hoback seems to have done basically everything you could have asked him to have done in that situation after being called out on it. So it is what it is at this point. Yeah, but for this knife in particular, I think it fits the overall aesthetic. I think it's comfortable when you're using it, but it does project a lot. That particular thumb flip or index flipper.
That's the only thing. Like, and I'm not saying I dislike it, because I hate the fact that I actually don't mind the gun hammers on even the DDR models that I got a chance to play with. I didn't hate the gun hammer. It's just all that sour taste in your mouth type of idea, right? So that's one of the nitpicks. But
aesthetically, it falls directly in line for me with the star pivot, and it's very much that just like
America.
Yeah.
Well, Go America. We've had that conversation about how if it was a Canadian-made knife, we're all for throwing a fucking bottle of maple syrup on the side of it. Yeah.
I just had $1 million idea, Joe. I don't know how you're gonna do it, but you need to figure out a way to make your knives smell like maple syrup.
Well, Brian tried to drip some maple syrup on a knife one time, and that was a hit. Let me tell you.
Really.
What was the tie? What was it? It was like.
What are you talking about?
Is this actually a thing that happened? This is all.
Oh, dude, CRKT had it. It was like in the description talking about drippy like maple syrup on the layers of G10 and plastic and.
Oh.
It was a CRKT knife. I'm not joking.
Yeah, no, that does sound familiar, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, that's going to bug me now.
It was the CRKT Drippy, or whatever the hell it was called.
If people will buy a glow-in-the-dark knife...
Tie drip, yeah.
They'll buy it if it smells like maple syrup. I'm telling you. Yeah. Also, speaking of glow-in-the-dark knives, what is it, the 640?
640.
Emerson? Does not glow in the dark. I tried.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That was disappointing.
I have another question about the Homefront.
Yeah.
And this one's more directed towards Paul, but both of you can answer that. Did either one of you try to Spidey flick this knife?
No, I did not.
It's got a fuller. How dare you, sir? I'm disappointed in you. How many days did you get to play with this knife?
Okay, but
not once did you have the idea.
To be fair, I don't have a picture of it closed out of my hand here, but look at that. Look at what's actually exposed. Like, not much. I don't think
there's enough there.
You call that enough? Let me zoom in.
Do we have it from the lock side? Because the liner is going to cover even more of that.
Oh, good point. But no, I only have the picture here. I actually completely forgot to get it. I completely forgot to get a picture of this thing's pocket clip, so I'm going to be relying on their pictures. I can
answer that question next week. Absolutely. The answer is yes. I'm definitely going to be able to Spidey flick that thing open. It was really busy this weekend though, so I didn't get a lot of in hand time.
Not lefty friendly, you assholes.
Not lefty friendly.
You assholes. Wasn't the other Homefronts lefty friendly?
That's a good question.
I want to say no.
Nope. No, they were not. None of them were.
Oh, the aluminum. Not even the plastic handled one. I can get not milling aluminum, but not even the plastic handled one.
Do you think they intentionally made the jimping on the backspacer there resemble the cogs on the wheel?
Straight up, they did. That's not an accident. They did that on purpose for sure.
They did that on the titanium version as well. I think this is a holdover. Kind of good idea. Oh no!
For the record, I like the Moose Hunter Homefront more than the normal one.
Oh.
Yeah. That blade looks really nice, but that handle looks just
as well?
Awful. No, probably 8CR.
Or Oz 8, one or the other.
Ooh, no, 4116. I forgot they did that.
It gets better.
I forgot they did that.
Expensive.
Yep. Oh, it's discontinued, so you can't get one anyway.
Yeah, the tactical, the hunter, and the plastic one all came out at the same time with 4116. As soon as Joe was mentioning that, I also had that light bulb go off above my head. I gotta get a beer. I'll be right back.
I don't think Dennis will end up with one just because it's not lefty friendly. I don't think this is cheap enough. I'm
probably not going to end up with one.
No? How come?
Because I'm bougie as shit.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
If I would buy it, but I wouldn't carry it, so there's no point in me buying it.
Okay. That's fair. I mean, I tend to rotate through cheaper knives I carry just to have fun with all the time, but usually it's stupid shit like this. Yeah, I don't know. I think I could recommend this knife to people. There's no obvious major hotspots. Like the jimping on the top of this knife is actually pretty aggressive. But it's rounded also, so it wouldn't hurt after long periods of time of using it if you had to.
Would you describe it as aggressively rounded?
It is aggressively rounded, actually. That's yeah. That's not a bad way to put it. That's funny. It's pretty neutral in its grip. The flipper tab does feel relatively comfortable, actually. That's something I don't really mind about its overall shape. It doesn't pinch your finger too badly. It's 12C Sandvik, so you're not going to ruin it. You know, like, you're not going to chip out the blade doing something stupid. Chances are. I mean, never say never, I guess. Well, it's not hollow ground, so you'll have a harder time doing it with this than you would with the blur if we were going to continue that comparison. Yeah, the only question for me is the spring assist. Like, I've just had such bad luck over the past little bit that I probably won't be brave enough to buy one until I hear how good the detent is by itself. But after that point, I would be kind of tempted because I still like buying CRKT's products. I still really like this design.
I really hope that CRKT catches up with. They've always been really good about their warranty and stuff like that, and it kind of sucks that the products that you have might be too early, too new to.
Yeah, because let's face it. I mean, if I end up getting replacement springs for my spring-assisted CRKTs and they don't break again, yeah, I'll be carrying them all the time. That stickler especially. Shit, I love that design. It's just there's no detent hole. This one has one. This is a step in the right direction. I hope that's a feature that translates to future CRKT spring-assisted models. They need to keep doing that.
It would be a cool thing for companies to do, to just offer it as part of, like, hey, this is an assisted knife, but if you don't like an assisted knife, all you gotta do is pull that spring out and it's fully ready to be de-assisted.
That should be a standard feature, for sure.
It could be a selling feature, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Joe, it was literally called the drip tie. If you want to look that up, the description.
I called it the tie drip earlier, but man, that is funny. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, that's what I was thinking about.
Right in the description, you can zoom in on that maple syrup description. It's fantastic.
Oh, there it is.
Oh yeah,
Jack of Pancakes.
I remember that.
Even talks about him sitting in the morning.
Oh yeah. My tie was laying the maple syrup on thick. Yeah, I bet.
You can tell
does it smell like maple syrup?
You can tell he's no Paul Bunyan. He would have called them flapjacks.
Yes.
The lumberjack. The lack of lumberjack is showing in Brian Ty.
Oh, hold on. Do they? Out of stock, but this thing isn't discontinued. They still make this thing.
Out of what? That's as shocking as the weight on a Homefront.
Come on, man.
Oh my god. That's terrifying.
What's the steel?
8CR.
8CR? Oh, 14. 14.
Pinky's up.
That's Brian Ty likes his 14 8CRs. It's
Yeah, he does. And I'm willing to live with it for some designs. I don't know about this one, though.
That's actually a common theme with Brian Ty knives now that we're talking about it. I've never really put the pieces together, but a lot of Brian Ty knives are 8CR 14 in particular. Anyway.
Yeah.
Final thoughts on a Homefront EDC that I never got to play with.
I like it despite itself. Despite myself, more accurately.
Yeah.
When Ken Onion does Ken Onion.
Well, if this thing had a recurve, I would be out. But
okay, but Ken Onion got pigeonholed on a recurve because of his blurs and his 300, 301 series, right? That there is Winnipeg.
It's Winnipeg.
Yeah,
welcome to Winnipeg, boys and girls. Yeah. Even saw the lights. It was good. It was good. It was first hand. Jesus.
At least the noise canceling is good enough that when you're not talking, Zoom seems to cut it out, so we don't have to hear it.
It's good because I have like 3 fans going. These black pipes up above me.
Yeah.
These apartments, this building is boiler room heated with pipes that give off the heat with hot water. So those black pipes are what heat the building.
I see.
But if it's real good, the hot air is right at the very roof of the apartment.
Yeah, and if you're in the ground floor where the boiler room may or may not be, I have 3 windows open and an air conditioning going, pushing November. So in Canada, that's the situation I'm in right now. So
a little warm in there.
Sounds sweaty.
It's okay. I came in after I had to put that booth that we were working at. I had to put that thing away in record time to be able to get here for the live stream. I was sweating my butt off even just getting in here, and then I walked into this room and I'm like, oh my god, it's so much worse.
So you're going to be taking a cold shower as soon as we're done here.
Good Lord, yeah, every window open.
Good God.
Anyway, Sonny, feelings, thoughts?
Feelings, thoughts.
I like this thing, but I've always liked the Homefront design. Benefit here is there's not much that's going to wear out over time, because I'm sure you guys have heard about it, but that little toggle switch that's on the front face of the original Homefronts can get loose if you play with it too much, if you disassemble too much. It's a mechanical detent that does wear down.
On the Gen 1 versions of Homefront Field Strip technology.
Yes.
Yeah.
If the Field Strip 2 ever came to the Homefront, I think that would be a very, very nice move. But I don't know how they would do it with an assist. So, but in this configuration, the way it is now,
no, just put ball bearings in it like they did the last time and do it proper, like a bona fide. If they did this in a Homefront bona fide, blah blah blah. Yeah.
Nice
without the springies, I'd be happy, dude.
100%. It's not.
I would pay this money for that.
Yeah.
What's that?
The extra mechanism. You know what I mean?
Yeah. If you swapped out the assist for that and maybe charge an extra $10, I'd go for that. Because I still don't own an example of a Field Strip anything, and I'd like to, but
I kind of like the fact that this isn't Field Strip. That's one of the appeals to me of this line.
Okay, so put in perspective, though, the original Homefront with the original Field Strip was Oz 8.
Yep.
And
at 150 American US MSRP.
Yes. Yeah. So I would want them to stick with a 12C blade or 14. Just saying.
I don't think that's going to matter as soon as, because, okay, so here's the other thing too, is the plastic handled version with the Field Strip and the croup steel was still 100 US,
but it's not first year technology anymore. They've gotten better at it, right?
True. Yeah, they've already done it on the Bonafide.
CRKT loves adding technology to charge more money.
Yeah.
Deadbolts and IKBSs and home for Field Strips and
now hold
secondary locks on M16.
What's that little blue CRKT with a very tiny flipper that had D2 polymer handles, but D2?
Which one? Sorry.
Okay. So that's the thing, though.
Yeah.
For some reason, CRKT decides that their D2 can be in the same boat that their Sandvik can be in, and it's all over the map. And you get very reasonable D2, and you get absolutely out of this world D2. It's like their SK5. You get $60 SK5, and you get $280 SK5. I'm like, goddamn, dude! Like,
yeah, that's true. Okay, so basically, it's a crapshoot. We could,
that sucks, but it is. It really is, right? Like, so
yeah. So I guess
even with 12C27, as soon as you throw a Homefront in there, I'd be expecting to pay over 100 American.
Yeah,
that's fair.
I guess in this case, then,
or not Homefront, Field Strip. I keep on saying those.
I knew what you mean,
because Ken Onion released it at the same time, and
anyway. As is, I think this is still an extremely recommendable knife to people. I think it's a good knife. In fact, for a lot of people, I think it should be a great knife. Homefront, I don't know if I'd call it a home run necessarily, but it's surprisingly solid, and it's nice to see to continue to see good things come out of CRKT. Again, I'm a little concerned about the spring, but that's just my experience.
Knife or nice?
I wish I said knife, but
okay. Well, you said knife. I was.
What? I missed that, but anyway.
Yeah. Paul thought it was being funny when I wasn't, but I wish I was.
He said it was knife to see.
Yeah, that would have been great. I'll have to keep that in the back pocket for later. Yeah, I like this thing. Yeah. I think it's worth checking out, especially if you like assisted stuff, because this is a really great example of an assisted knife.
How's another question? Because I'm going to stretch this out just for the hell of it. How's the close? We asked how the action was, but with this IKBS torsion bar closey action, that's what their big claim is. So
it's not quite a fox, but it's in that direction, I would say.
It's still, and honestly, all of them, as I've been playing with them more and more, I picked up the Mohawk the other day and was playing with the close. They're onto something as far as the not as much tension as a Kershaw assisted or something like that to close.
Yeah, everybody else is assisted.
Everybody else is assisted.
I will say, there's a little bit more, and probably because the pin is holding the backside of that spring in place, but there is a little bit more force you have to put into the home front to close relative to some of their other newer assisteds.
Well, I'll be the judge of that.
Yes. Oh, definitely. But it's not nearly as much as even, say, this knife or a lot of their older outburst stuff.
It's also a larger blade, so I imagine there's a certain amount of spring pressure that is necessary.
I think this is price point wise, steel wise, everything about this. I think this is the best home front they've come out with so far. The fact that it didn't have field strip is the one kind of meh, but everything else about this knife, I would say, is the best version of a home front if you've ever thought about a home front as far as buying one. If you're in the bracket for a CRKT knife and looking at the home front designs and being like, man, should have pulled the trigger, blah, blah, blah. Don't try to track down an OG one. Just buy this one. You'll probably be happier with it.
Outside of the titanium M391, I would agree.
Who knows? Who knows about the titanium M391? Maybe you're paying 3 times the price for a shit-tastic titanium knife. Was it made in Italy? Wait, let's zoom in on that logo again.
Exactly.
So maybe this is the best version of a home front you can buy.
Yep. No,
I don't know. I like to talk stack. Maybe companies like to surprise me from time to time.
There's a legitimate chance that if this thing sells well, that that CRKT goes, hey, you know what? Maybe we take this and make it fancy tech. I forget the name of it.
Yeah, downside to that is because of everything we're dealing with right now. I don't think it's going to be a 2023 item. It'll be 2024 at the very latest, just because of the way production's going. Everyone's going to follow a Chris Reeve train, and crap's going to get silly. But anyway, hopefully not too bad.
Either way, it might be a smart way to get into it.
From what I've seen as far as the development over the last year is any indication of what's going to happen in the next year or so.
I didn't say next year.
DT was a ghost for 2021, and then they're like, we're not a ghost, we have copper for everyone.
Yeah.
Hey, they had carbon fiber that looks like it would glow in the dark.
Who knows what other companies are going to do just to kind of make everything kind of keep floating, right?
Yeah.
Anyone else have any other garbage they want to talk about? I don't think I had my final thoughts on this thing, but I think
Not yet.
need to.
No, I haven't had any final thoughts yet. I was just going to give it a gold star. That's my rating for it.
I see. Well, it's missing one, so it needs one.
That's what I'm saying.
I
might get one of them gold markers and color it in.
See, all of my thoughts about the whole, this is the best home front is I was going to make some cheesy ass comment about you shouldn't turn your back on the home front. But that's cheesy. That's just cheesy, and that'll end up being the name for the video because it's that bad. But
I'm gonna make a note.
Don't turn your back on the home front. Home needs to be in brackets though, or it's less funny.
All right.
Don't turn your back on the front.
No, that's Anyway.
Terrible.
It's what I do. It's what I do.
No, I appreciate that.
Best part is I heard a fantastic dad joke today and I already forget it, but I told the girl I was going to steal it and now I forget what it was.
They haven't fiercely.
When you remember it later, you can just claim it as your own.
I do that anyway, regardless.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
Fair. So I do have one thing that I could talk about if nobody else has got things on there.
Might have a couple smally things, but I mean, if we want to figure that out, that'd be cool.
Yeah, sure.
What do you got, Paul?
I learned a thing about a thing, and they're weird.
Uh-oh.
And it's LEP flashlights.
Oh, right. These.
They're weird things.
LEP?
Laser excited phosphor flashlights.
Okay. They play with phosphorus in a couple different places, but what is just phosphor?
It's probably phosphorus.
Okay.
So tell us about them, Paul. What makes them weird?
So it's literally a laser that excites this material on a surface with a metal backing. And that is what throws the light out, the flashlight. And then it's got a couple lenses inside to actually focus the beam. But they are ridiculous throw for fairly low lumen counts.
So
like 1,400 meters on a 400 lumen flashlight.
You get a little laser excited and it goes a long way.
If you literally type in LEP flashlights and go to images, they have images of the beam, and it the beam comes out at say 8 inches around, and it basically stays that size the entire way out. They're weird fucking things.
Interesting.
Yeah. I actually bring them up, not necessarily because, hey, this is the great new flashlight technology and everybody needs to be getting on this train, but more so of my point of, I really dig the technology that makes them exist, but I don't know if I would ever want a flashlight that does that.
And given that these are lasers that are being focused out as well,
it's not lasers that are being focused out.
Are they not?
No. It's the laser light is hitting a surface, which is then...
Laser is hitting the metallic backing and exciting things.
Okay.
With its twinkle fingers.
They are safer than they sound, being that it's a laser. They're not something you want to be putting directly in your eye.
Okay, so that was the next question I was going to have is as far as shining it on a person, how dangerous is it to be hey, check out my new flashlight? As Joe likes to do to our audience on a regular basis.
It's enough that I wouldn't take one camping with me.
So they're saying do not aim LEP flashlights at people. Do not aim at mirrors, glass, or other reflective materials. Do not aim at aircraft or other vehicles. So what exactly is the risk of using these things?
I would imagine loss of vision.
Yeah, so...
It is not a civilian industry product. And Olight has a couple of them, apparently. I'm saying. Excited phosphorus.
Okay, so Justin is saying it's 100% as safe as a flashlight of the same lumens.
Interesting.
The laser itself is not eye safe. So
that's what...
If you've got a 400 lumen flashlight, it's no different than shining a 400 lumen flashlight at someone else. What about in distance?
I mean, it will go out. There's a light that I was looking at that ran out 3,000 meters.
But lumen intensity, is dissipated over distance, right?
It's not.
No. I'm saying with an LED one. If I'm a 400 lumen flashlight and I'm 100 meters away, it's bright, but I can look at it and not die.
If you look at the screen, Joe's got an image here, and on the left side is the phosphor, and on the right side is a regular flashlight.
Okay.
So it definitely does widen out a little bit, but it's surprising how focused. It's the lensing inside of it is very much designed to throw the light as far.
Okay, so I want one for one very specific purpose.
And here's a shot of somebody doing some comparisons. Now that's a cool comparison shot. Credit to somebody on Reddit, apparently. But
what are all those comparisons, though? That's...
Oh, they're just between a bunch of different LEP lights.
LEP lights. All of these are LEP lights. So,
they all are. Don't know what brand.
Just threw up the picture. I'm not sure exactly what we were looking at there.
Oh, no.
So.
We're looking at the things we're talking about.
I did see a light that had a focusable beam as well. So you would get wicked throw and a good focus beam, or you could have kind of medium throw and more flood.
So every boy, I mean, I don't want to discriminate by any means, but at some point in your lifetime has shined a flashlight up at a cloud because it's been low cover cloud and pretended to be Batman. Like straight up, all of us have done it. It's if you haven't, get out to nature more.
This is exactly what I've like noticed about this light is that it looks like the bat symbol.
So and bats are the beginning, but the things you can put on clouds are endless, my friend. Mm-hmm. It's
very close to Smith take that. Oh, I would have been confident against the stream.
That would be like, so it says don't shine it directly at a person, but I imagine if I'm going to be making shadow puppets on a cloud 3 kilometers up in the sky, I feel not like my eyes, so it's okay.
Yeah.
Genuinely, I feel like if you looked at like everybody else's lights, I'm sure that, I mean, they absolutely say after a certain lumen amount not to flash them at people. Well, or there is a risk of.
There's nothing in the literature for my 1600 lumen flashlight that says, oh, you can suffer permanent eye damage from it. But if I were to hold somebody's eyelids open and turn this thing on right up against their eyeball, I'm sure there would be some permanent damage after a sufficient period of time.
Yeah, I have seen, and this is Claris in particular. I don't know if other companies vary in any sort of way, but Claris seems to put that cap at about 3,000 lumens.
So apparently, Justin's saying that as it is right now with LED flashlights that have the throw, you can get yourself in trouble flashing airplanes. So this thing would be on clouds, super easy. But again, you'd have to be careful that you're not accidentally flashing.
Yeah, outside the city limits. Because again, honestly, with the throw, you're not going to do anything inside any sort of major city that you're going to be able to see anyway with the light pollution.
Yeah.
Get yourself out into some backcountry roads and torch that son of a bitch up there, and it'll be fun as hell. Like it's.
I imagine they would get pretty quickly. Like you could, like in theory, you could turn a flashlight on in the city and probably light somebody up a kilometer away from you, and they would have no idea where it was coming from because the light pollution on the way back wouldn't. You know what I mean?
Probably not. Yeah.
So, given that this is a laser, that's exciting. What's that?
So that was a really stunted way to explain that, but I'm glad. I appreciate the fact you understand what I'm saying.
Oh, good. But given that it's a laser, I don't know. Okay, we were talking about the comparative power draw of lasers versus flashlights because of that light you and I are both interested in grabbing. Thank you again, Cal. I wonder what the battery drain on an LEP would be comparatively to something like a standard 18650 Claris or Olight or. Because you got to imagine, lasers probably draw comparable.
There are websites. They don't show your price, I guess, because I think you said something about they're not available to the general public. But there is a website literally that's just like LEP flashlights, and they tell you specs and whatever else, candle power and lumens, and
it'd be cool to see what the. Were you saying that this website potentially had them?
I think it's literally like if you type in LEP flashlights, it's like the third option down. It's just called, the website is lepflashlights.com or something like that.
I got lepflashlight.com. There's J2.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that was the one I was on. Because even just for a very brief idea, let's see, these are all LEP flashlights. Let's just grab.
And Infinite is mentioning that 100% they work inside the city. I get that, but you need to get outside of the city more, my friend. Like the throw in the backcountry is unheard of. Like, and yes, you can throw it up there, and yes, you can see it probably similarly to a bat signal up in the clouds, but I don't want to touch grass. Oh my God, that's awesome, but you, sir, are on very different wavelengths than I.
So this one,
I don't want to touch concrete. How about we trade?
Oh. Okay, so this actually doesn't tell you runtime here. Maybe
No.
that's just the slight.
It does tell you weird things like how many
Your average.
lumens at turn on versus at 10 minutes at half an hour. That's kind of neat. How
Very,
much?
maybe
Sorry,
it's.
go ahead.
Oh, I'm just. Oh, okay. A lot of these have. Surely that's not ours. That's.
Maybe it is. You don't know. Maybe it's just a slow, steady drop in power.
Because you'd think hours, minutes, seconds.
Justin
Really?
Justin would appreciate if you stopped calling him Shirley.
Hey, Justin, you want to tell me the average runtime for shit like this? Like, can you expect runtimes of fucking 5 hours or even 2.5 hours at some of these? That's pretty impressive. That really use case for a lot of these lights. If they're mostly made for like distant projecting, you're probably not going to have them on for super long periods of time to begin with.
Well, and it's not the brightness in this particular situation, right?
Yeah.
Dennis, I have a question for you about distance. We were recently out hunting grouse and we were glassing at a deer from a hillside.
Yes.
How far would you say that is?
$600 yards,
Okay.
700 yards,
Okay.
somewhere in there. If I were to take a wild shot in the dark.
These lights are averaging like twice that
Yeah.
Dude.
from what I'm looking at.
So this graph is labeled. Time is hours, minutes, seconds. 5 hours of runtime is ridiculous.
So again, it's not the power that's making this thing crazy. It's not the whatever drain that it has, right? Like
and it looks like
some excited phosphor.
Wow, that is really freaking cool. And these are relatively inexpensive too. I was seeing like $90 price points for some of these. 90 American, I imagine, but
I have one more quick one before we want to call this night, if we want.
yeah, sure.
So, go ahead, Paul.
I got an answer. You asked me if it was phosphor or phosphorus. And phosphorus is an adjective meaning of or relating to or containing phosphorus, whereas phosphor is being a general term for various luminescent substances.
Oh.
So it's a substance that glows when you excite it with light.
I should know more of that.
It probably has phosphorus in it because I'm pretty sure phosphorus gets excited when you flash light at it, which is why it's called that. But
I was going to say, I probably should know that, but I'm not my brother. So.
Oh. Ben here is saying Odin LEP, customized 5,000 milliamp hour, 21700 battery with a max runtime of 7.5 hours on the low setting. All right.
That's a healthy battery for low. Yeah.
Like, can I turn on a 10 lumen light and I can see something 600 meters away? Because that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but only in a 4-inch diameter.
Yeah.
It's like that.
I just want to flash a bear in the eye from a mile away.
Just
like,
directly in his eyes. Don't run at me and move your head at all. Just stay still.
Stop running. I said stop running at me.
All right. Was it last week that I went on a tear and told you guys about a whole bunch of shit, or was that 2 weeks ago?
I think it was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Okay. One of those things was the Kaiser Friday Club.
Yeah.
Did we talk about the newest one last week, or
we did not?
I know Paul and I both saw it. I was going to mention it without Paul seeing it, but now he knows about it. They did release, and I mean, tomorrow's the day. Tomorrow's Halloween. Happy Halloween and all that garbage.
It's an angry dog.
Bring it up here.
I got a gaggle of children. I got to go take trick-or-treating after this, so that's a good time. But yeah.
That's what you get.
It is. It is what I get. I don't regret it. It's a good time, but Jesus. So anyway, yeah.
Jesus. That's a weird guy.
Yes.
The Jack-o'-lantern Kaiser.
I dig it.
They've done that style cutout a couple different times for their Halloween models, haven't they?
I don't know. You tell me, sir.
Because yeah, there's one here that's the I don't know what this is. They just call it the Halloween special October. So this the one you're talking about here is the mini roach, and then there's one over here called the.
It's their pillar.
Doesn't say.
That looks like a sheepdog, is what that looks like. But
is it a mini sheepdog? I think they did a mini sheepdog.
No, that's not a sheepdog.
Yep, that's a pillar.
They don't actually say what it is? Well, I bet you the code the 3569 code would probably hint more of, yeah. But anyway, yeah, okay. So Paul had an interesting note about this particular knife.
Yeah, I looked at this knife and immediately looked up the Spyderco Brower to see what his touch mark is.
The knife is actually called the October.
Oh, there you go.
This holiday October.
So did they release it for the Friday Club?
No. There's a standard version called the October that was released previously. It's just,
what does the standard version look like?
This, but black, I think.
That's less exciting. I was hoping you were going to tell me S35 with titanium that I can't carry left-handed or some bullshit like Kaiser likes to do.
Oh, it's S35. It's M390 in titanium. Well, that's right hand only that you can't carry.
Yeah, because Kaiser's asshole like everyone else in this world.
Yeah.
What's the
everyone else in this world for the
titanium?
Wow, that's a good-looking knife.
Yeah, that's a good-looking knife.
Yeah, it's too much money. The titanium's got a weird finish on it. Oh, it's okay. Never mind. It's just a very small screen. I didn't realize it was milled. I'm like, what is up with that like weird stippling?
$174 American, so that's like
$250.
All right. And it's M390?
Yep.
Ball bearings?
20 CV.
Yeah, so M390 already, Joe.
Yeah, bearings.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm into it.
There's a micarta version as well. No lefty version available apparently.
Of course not. It's Kaiser.
Yeah.
I want the titanium one.
Look at your Kaiser knife that you have probably in your pocket right now. Is it a lefty friendly?
It sure is.
Oh, look at that! They did one on micarta. Well, they knew I was going to blow out a clip either side, so it's still steel linered though, isn't it?
It's still what?
Steel linered though, isn't it?
Yeah. Steel liners on this thing.
I'm just being an asshole at this point.
Yeah, they don't do those fancy inserts. They just thread right into the micarta.
All right. So what Paul was saying was Spyderco Brower.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The touch mark that he uses is a jack-o'-lantern, and I was wondering if it was the same face.
And because is it Jason Brower? What's his first name?
Oh, I knew it because I looked him up.
I don't think it's Jason. I'm wrong.
Nope, it is distinct.
Is it?
Yep.
Well, I'm good at things sometimes.
It won't
very close.
Will it let me zoom in? Yeah, here we go. And there we go.
So that broke us into a conversation of, can you copyright a jack-o'-lantern face? Like obviously that's his maker mark, so he's got some sort of, and it's close.
It is distinctive though. This has 3 square teeth. The top 2 are smaller, and the eyes are angled with the face.
Differently.
Well,
and he's got a nose.
Mouth, and he's got a nose. Whereas the Kaiser, the eyes are not angled with the mouth. 2 sharp teeth up top, and the eyes are a lot smaller. So it is distinctive enough. It's distinctive
and again,
enough.
We were talking about such a fine line between So how close does it get, right? Like
how can you possibly steal I guess if they put the nostrils and everything else and the 3 teeth, he could probably go after them.
For the record, to my understanding, a maker's touch mark like this, if this is how people are going to sign their work, it doesn't require any official registration. You simply have to be known to be using it. So if it was too similar, he could probably just be like, hey, cut that shit out. I don't want people thinking I have anything to do with this knife. And
that's follow-up question is, who actually designed this knife in the first place?
Well, this knife, the what is this? The mini
Dick
roach.
Richardson saying, "Ask Fred Perrin how close it can be." I don't know what that means.
Well, Fred Perrin just had that thing with Tops where they
Yeah.
discontinued a cockpit commander, was it?
That
After
sounds
a
correct.
serious conversation with Fred Perrin because
Yeah,
they had
that's
been
right.
stealing his shit for years. Yeah. So, or something. I don't know. Along that lines, I talk smack sometimes, so don't quote me on that.
It's the designer of the mini.
Assuming it's someone.
The designer of the Kaiser Mini Roach is Matt Degnan. Degnan?
What's his maker mark?
Don't know. I'd have to look it up.
Oddly enough, it's
just
a
rabbit holing at this point. So it's yeah.
jack-o'-lantern with 3 teeth.
Now, well, the October. Let's see. Oh, it might. I think the October's an in-house design because Kaiser's website doesn't give credit to anyone.
Yeah, they do a lot of that shit because Kaiser comes out with so many knives every year.
Yeah.
Too many, one might say.
One might.
But
You
I will
can
say,
pick a lane, that type of thing.
if Kaiser's doing it the way that We Knives and Civivi are doing it, where they make a knife and put out X number into the wild, and if they sell out, then hey, we might make some more. But if it takes a while for them to sell out, they don't seem to make them again.
So
They'll discontinue a model if it doesn't sell well. So
here's something annoying. The standard bug lighter does not come with a lefty clip, but the Mini and the XL do.
all right.
Of course. As soon as they made variations, enough people bitch that it's like the banter, the baby banter.
Okay.
Right?
There are some versions. They got the Kaiser Azo big letter. I don't know what that's supposed to be, just a variation. That one has a lefty clip. Lefty holes.
What are we looking at right now?
I'm just saying.
A bunch of bag letters. I was just curious to see what was out there.
Hmm.
There's also the bag letter 2, which is lefty compatible as well.
Is the knife that you have called a bag lighter?
It's a big lighter XL. Yeah.
Yeah. It's the
I don't
same.
know it by name.
What's his face? Is it Brad Zinker? That does the big letter?
No.
But there's only one
Not
G.
Zinker?
Someone's name. He starts with an A, I think. Oh, come on.
That was going to be a smart
It's
ass.
Anthony
It's
Zinker,
Brad
isn't
Zinker
it?
design.
It is an Azo design. AZO. Which, actually, now that I look at the maker's mark, that actually totally makes sense.
It just says AZO. Yeah. And it looks suspiciously like Enzo's logo doesn't it? Oh, no, it doesn't.
I was going to say, like, not.
Yeah.
It is like a stylized AZO, but yeah.
It's kind of like a brushstroke for the O, huh?
Yeah, I kind of dig it. I've got to say, I've been really impressed with this thing. Like, shit.
Like shit.
What was the Kaiser that was made by Brad Zinker? Now that's going to bug me.
We can look up Zinker. Oh, nothing. Hold on a second.
Miscreant.
No, that was a weird.
And that's yeah. But that is the Brad Zinker I'm thinking of. I'm just cross branding right now. It's been that kind of weekend.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Well, wasn't it
I
Zinker
just
that
realized.
did the Boker Urban or whatever too?
The Urban Tracker, yep. Or Urban Trapper, not Tracker.
Yeah.
Trapper is a Zinker design, I believe, as well. Yeah. That looks like a miscreant,
Yeah. I wish I could have got one of the original Miscreants. Oh well.
Yeah, it was just the Friday Club because Paul and I both noticed and we had recently talked about it being a thing. So, yeah.
Well,
New Friday Club.
Friday Club on Sunday.
With Halloween. And we can end it on Halloween because tomorrow's Halloween. Halloween.
I'm going to steal so much candy from so many trick-or-treaters.
Oh.
No.
All right.
I'm going to steal so much of my daughter's trick-or-treat candy. It's going to be
That sounds...
I'm going to go look for Halloween candy sales on Tuesday.
Oh.
November 1st. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
As well as a couple pumpkins. I got 3 to cut. Oh, I should have sent you a picture. I carved some pumpkins. They were fancy.
Okay.
Where
Let's send it for next week.
Anyway, I think that pretty much wraps us up for the night.
I think so.
Yes.
Go fry some catfish.
I have to not fry catfish, but also eat food still. So
I'm gonna make some more tea before my throat goes out.
yeah. Those things. All right, guys.
I want you to know, Joe, that I didn't make a joke.
Thank you to the Cutting Edge for supplying Homefront Assistant. Do they call it the Homefront Assistant? Is that what it is now?
Nope, they call it the Homefront OD Green because they've never made a Homefront with OD Green before.
Oh yeah, they totally talked about that, and we had a before the stream conversation on whether the original one was OD Green or Bronze. It's up for debate.
To be fair, they're a different color.
They are different, but what does that look to you?
Yeah, it kind of looks grayish to me when I look at the new one, but you know.
The new one looks grayish. This one looks like bronzy green, so
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyway, either way, thank
is
you, Cutting Edge Cutlery Co. for bringing whichever variation of Homefront this happens to be.
Indeed.
I'm glad these guys got to play with it. I have further follow-up questions that I may or may not ask. And you'll get answers next week, but yeah.
All right.
We could probably talk about that. Dick Richards is asking his boss wants a Bowie. Told him he's looking for something around $300. Could we give suggestions potentially next week? I'm sure we could probably come up with something next week.
Condor, Undertaker, or the 1917 Frontier both come to mind for under $300 awesome options. There's plenty more we can talk about next week, but those are the two off the top of my head.
Those are excellent suggestions if you're looking for something classically a Bowie, like nothing like no modern
Also, Plan A.
interpretation.
What's that?
Said maybe even a Plan A.
Yeah, lots of options, but those are like classic. The Undertaker is like classic Bowie.
You're absolutely right.
I
Yeah.
still kind of want one.
Cold Steel Wild West, they haven't changed since GSM Outdoors. If you want to throw GSM some money, Dick, but I know you're kind of partial to rest in peace situations. So, having said that as well, Paul, thanks some other people.
Yeah. Thank you to all the weird random strangers that have been following us on Instagram randomly for no reason. I appreciate you, even though you confuse the hell out of me.
And YouTube, we had a bit of a flare up as well. We have to appreciate the new followers as well.
Thank you very much.
Also throw a shout to all the Patreon guys that continue to support us. We'll talk. Us and the Patreon guys, we're going to talk. And then I'm going to tell Paul and Joe what we're going to do, because at this point I've given up on what they want to do with the giveaway. But all the funds, you guys keep supporting us. We're going to give it right back to you guys, regardless of whether you want it or not. So just lie back and take it. So.
All right.
Halloween, that's a trick, all right. God damn.
Oh, it's a treat. Come on, Joe.
Oh,
I
no.
got a question
Someone's
for you
been
guys
tricked
off
here.
screen.
Someone's been tricked. Sorry, Paul. Give her.
Oh, I was just going to ask a question, and it's going to tie us back into other things. So there's no reason
right.
for it.
Do it so we can end this stream.
Okay, the question I have, my building recently had a horror movie night, specifically a horror movie night,
Okay.
and they played the movie Beetlejuice. Is that a horror movie?
No, but it's generic enough that whoever comes during the month of Halloween can watch it and get a laugh and have fun and blah, 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 and not scare the crap being R or excessively rated.
That's fair.
My
Also,
personal choice would have had Hills Have Eyes 2, but
Quick shout out to Nicole Chapman and chat back for the second week in a row. So cheers to you.
Nice to see you.
Thank you, Nicole. Thanks for joining us. Hope you enjoyed it. Everyone else, I also hope you enjoyed it, but slightly less because Nicole's new. We're going to bring it in. Anyway, more comments. We always love them, that type of thing. Last note, also in the chat, also on the stream. What would you play on that movie night for Halloween?
Yeah.
No, I'm asking you, sons of bitches.
Oh, me?
I'm thinking.
Hills Have Eyes 2. Come on, if you're going to do Halloween, scare some sons of bitches. Like,
Oh, okay. If
that's
we're
not
gonna,
my favorite Halloween movie by any means. But don't get me wrong. But
I don't know that this would necessarily be the best choice in order to scare the most people, but what I would enjoy to see again would be Event Horizon. Pull that shit up.
it's not
Is
even a
it-
Halloween movie. What the
Is
hell,
it
man?
That's a
Is it
Halloween.
Dawn of the Dead 3?
Which one?
It's a zombie movie with the grave robbers that are cutting off people's heads and they come back to life. Is that
What is
Dawn
it
of the
called?
Dead? I think it's Dawn of the Dead 3.
Dawn of the Dead. Okay, I don't remember a 3. There's Rise of the Dead.
What's the one? It's a sequel to the movie with the punk chick that has all the glass pushed through her when she becomes a zombie. It's the next one in that line.
Not Resident Evil. It's not one of those.
No, it's an older, like 80s.
Huh. You're gonna have to get back to me on that one.
I can't think of too many Halloween specific movies, to be perfectly honest, outside of the super generic ones.
Dawn of the Dead in 3D? No. All right, I'll figure it out. I'll come back next week.
Saying if you want Halloween movies that scare people and give them nightmares for weeks and they don't want to turn off their lights, Hills Have Eyes too.
I'll keep that in mind.
That's the one that's going to get you. Maybe
Halloween.
not. I have other suggestions. Don't get me wrong. I have a big chapter for horror movies back in the day. Let me get. I like the Rob Zombies. All of them, Devil's Rejects, all of those good times. They're good. Not family friendly and not having a Halloween party that everyone
Return
can
of the
attend.
Living Dead.
Oh,
Return of the Living Dead 3.
Romero. Oh, going old school. Yeah, okay.
I believe.
Troll 2 is good. I actually just talked to a guy yesterday about the Troll movies because he was looking for some of the sword and knife props from Troll. That's old school.
There you go.
So it doesn't have to be specifically a Halloween movie here?
Horror. Past horror. Halloween.
Well,
Horizon is not.
Event Horizon is a spooky movie. It's got some fun shit. Okay, fine then. Hereditary. I like Hereditary. I think it's pretty scary.
Hereditary?
Yeah.
What is Joe throwing at us? Making up horror movies.
I'm not going to talk about it. I think we should just watch it.
You're
I want to see what you think.
gonna get me on that. I'm just gonna look it up.
Come on.
Because I need to
I've
know.
been thinking about watching Barbarian. You don't see a lot about information online because they're like people are specifically not supposed to talk about the movie.
Which
but,
one? Sorry.
Barbarian. It's on Disney. It's a horror movie.
Oh, you guys are all going like super new. I haven't even seen any of these ones.
I haven't seen it. I'm just saying it's
All right,
new.
so
new
I
hot
just
mess.
looked up Hereditary. I'm like 2018. Jesus. Okay, I got to catch up here. Apparently.
Okay, there's another one. Oh no, this one's even newer. But have you heard of Midsummer?
I've heard of. Yes. Okay.
I believe it's the same director. Both are actually great spooky movies, but not palatable for some people. So I'll say that much.
Anyway, let's wrap this shit up. It's 9 o'clock. It's 8 o'clock your time. Anyway.
It's time to. No, it's 9 o'clock here.
Oh yeah, okay, never mind. My laptop's all messed up. It's what time is it in real? Oh Jesus Christ. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Good night, everybody.
Yeah, no doubt. We thank everyone. All right. I think we're back next week.
Yep.
Same bad time, same bad channel. Cool. All right, guys. Thank you for joining us. Hope you enjoyed it. We will be back next Sunday. On that note, I am who I am. I'm Dennis Vipers.
I am Darren Joe.
Exile.ca.
Take care, guys. We'll see you next time.
Oh my God. Big Ben doesn't do me justice.